Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And what we had feared has been confirmed, that apparently nobody at Warner was telling Mindy Kaling no when it came to Velma. In fact, they love R-rated Velma over there. So somebody else has to get fired if they haven't been fired already.
Right, because they just went along with it and said, do what you want. Sounds like She-Hulk.
Yeah, because people are wondering, how did this show even get greenlit? Is there nobody paying attention over there at Warner Brothers? And yeah, apparently they loved it. They were totally on board. Or this is Mindy Kaling trying to divert attention away from herself because everybody's blaming her for this show. So now she's like, oh no, it was Charlie Grandy. It was his fault, and all the executives at Warner Brothers who thought it was a great idea. Don't hate me, guys. Don't cancel me. So
it's just bad.
We're going to talk about this.
Yep.
A lot of people need to get fired.
Oh, the media all of a sudden, just in the last week, have been all changing their tune. Like, here's 9 reasons, there are 9 things about Velma that are amazing. Here's, this, and here's why it's so great. And, it's underrated. And it's got better as the more episodes you watch, and et cetera, et cetera.
It's because it's a bad look to be attacking a brown woman. That's
I think it's because it's bad look to be attacking the pocketbook of Warner.
Well, that could be too.
I mean, let's be honest here. They'll take that excuse as a shield. But,
that is true. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 290, almost 291,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. Coming from the rap, Velma star Mindy Kaling and creator Charlie Grandy got no pushback on R-rated ScoobyDoo. It was just excitement. Oh my God. So this is what they explained to them.
It's clearly got no pushback. I mean, I think that's pretty much a given.
So Charlie Grandy, who's gotten forgotten in all of this, is actually the guy who came up with the idea. His name has come up before, but everybody associates this show with Mindy Kaling, and I do believe that this is an attempt to take the heat off of her. How'd the show come about? Mindy and I both moved over to Warner Brothers at the same time. She'd been thinking about doing some animation and was looking over the catalog of characters. It's like, oh, I've always related to Velma as the sort of unsung hero who does all the work but gets none of the credit. And how fun would it be to do an origin story about that character?
Wait, so Mindy Kaling, we're always related to her as the person that did all the work but got none of the credit. I know, right?
Yeah, a pup named ScoobyDoo gave us a Velma origin. Actually, the live-action Scooby prequels gave us a Velma origin. We really don't need another Velma origin.
But it's like, I relate to Velma because, she does all the work and gets none of the credit, like me, Mindy Kaling, who's on all these shows where it has my name all over it, Mindy Kaling, because it's about Mindy Kaling. She's even getting all the credit for this mess. So I'm like, I really don't think you relate to it as much as you say you do.
So here we go. Was there any pushback to how hard-edged your take was? Charlie Grandy, not at all. That basically tells me the executives over there don't care. Mindy Kaling, no, it was just excitement. It's so great because we love this character.
So we have to change everything about her.
We have to change everything about her. She's not Velma anymore. She's so iconic and obviously one of the few characters from the era that she was created that I could actually identify with.
Again, it's all about Mindy Kaling. If you notice this, me, and how I identify, me.
It's no surprise I love writing about young women. Charlie created the show. I just played the part. Again, the whole purpose of this interview is to take the heat off of Mindy Kaling because everybody hates Mindy Kaling right now for the show. They're blaming her for the show. It's like, oh yeah, blame Charlie. It's all Charlie's fault. I'm just the actress.
She was a showrunner, wasn't she?
I believe so, yeah. This world of, or producer or something.
She was something on it. But Charlie Grandy did all it. Charlie Grandy, who is the child of the Love Boat actor.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't they do a hard R-rated Love Boat?
They are doing a new Love Boat, but it's like a one of those like The Rose, The Bachelor, that type of show.
Orgy boat,
no,
fantasies
basically
come true on the orgy boat. Okay, this world of teenagers was such a fun world. Orgy boat,
right.
where all your fantasies come true.
I'd love to explore teenagers. I'd love
to explore before. It was such a great way to work with actors who normally wouldn't get on a live action show. Yeah, because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to hire them just to do voice acting. All these people were killers in their own show. They're willing to come over and do voices. It's a dream. There's so much Scooby-Doo lore at this point, and you obviously have homages like original Voice actor Frank Welker voicing Fred's father. Was it hard to balance the references in the reinvention? No, because we just threw it all the fuck out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, their answers are just glorious.
Charlie says, I think the key was always keeping the original in the forefront of your mind and really just letting that be the compass.
But it's nothing like the original. Like, you completely effed everything over.
What really attracted me to the project was I loved Scooby-Doo growing up, and I loved both the comedy and also the horror. And the goal for me was to try to update both for an audience.
Update the comedy and the horror. Well, you failed miserably.
We're not just necessarily taking these characters and updating them in the sense that, oh, now they're super crass and that's not what you thought.
But that's what you did.
That's basically what you did. It's trying to keep the suspense and the horror and the jokes, but for something that would be engaging to an older, more mature audience.
With teenagers? If you wanted to go after an older, more mature audience with horror and comedy, you don't make them teenagers. You don't have Daphne running around with soap covering her boobs and making out with Velma.
Yeah, she shouldn't have anything covering her boobs.
I mean, I'm just like,
I'm just saying, you really want to get the audience. No, actually, you know what would be funny? Oh, God, this is why they don't put me in charge. Let's actually make them the age that they would be now. They'd be geriatric Mystery Inc. Because they would be.
With Daphne running out of soap on her boobs?
Sure. Why not be like the Golden Girls? Be like, she could be
that wasn't an episode of the Golden Girls.
She'd be like Blanche, right? That's what you do. That's how you do it. Daphne and Velma, they moved in together. I don't know. Anyway, when you look at the original characters, they have their iconic outfits and they have some small character traits, but not a ton. Okay, so what he's basically saying is there was no substance to the original Scooby-Doo. Just so you know, Scooby fans. Now, that could be true of the original series, but since then there's been more character development, right? He's basically saying they just had their costumes and a little bit of character, and that's basically it. There's nothing to them. They were a blank slate, and now we get to get in there and turn them into real characters. Everybody thinks they're going to do that. Like, yeah, it was just a guy in spandex, and then I came along.
Wait, it gets better. So we have these few things. How can we put story weight on those things? The character traits, the costumes. How can we make the big reveal for the first time a character does something or is wearing something that you haven't seen before? Their outfits. That's a big reveal. Oh my God, they're not wearing something they were wearing before. Like Daphne's wearing bubbles instead of clothes.
I know, right?
That's it. That's the end.
That's it. Velma's on HBO Max.
They're trying to damage control and take the heat off of Kaling.
The show is vile. The lead actress is vile. Yeah, it's God. Velma is the internet's new punching bag. Show's got cred and a lot of viewers still in the social media crosshairs. Blame the character's legacy. Blame the legacy of Velma. Blame it on the fact that you had expectations for Velma to be a certain way that she's been for like 50, 60 years. How dare you? God.
It's all your fault.
It's all your fault for having expectations. They're trying to do damage control for sure.
I love this. I love this. Velma opted for colorblind casting with this title character now being a South Asian woman. These are why people hate it. For another, Velma is portrayed as more openly queer. Here's the thing. Velma has been played by an Asian woman before.
Yes.
The whole queer thing you guys have been pushing for a long time. They keep going back to, well, James Gunn said in his movie. Right, but it was watered down because the studio who owned the character, so they didn't want that.
Somebody was paying attention back then because except for the fact they made Scrappy-Doo evil. But that was a joke. The Scooby-Doo movies were a parody of Scooby-Doo, like the Brady Bunch movie. It's not the actual Scooby-Doo. It is a parody of Scooby-Doo. Canonically, other than Mystery Inc., Velma has always been straight. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's, it is what it is.
That, this whole, like, they keep doubling down because they're just mad because she's brown. It's like, but she was not white before. And they're talking about the colorblind casting. No. See, the issue isn't that. The issue is you literally race swap pretty much everyone. Except for the one white guy, which you deliberately have said repeatedly. You did it on purpose to make him a stereotype, joke. And you stereotyped all these characters. You have stereotyped the hell out of these characters. And that's why you bent the races the way you did. And it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't think what they're, turning Velma into R-rated Daria is
that's an insult to Daria.
Yeah, that's giving her a personality. It's like, it's not Velma. The character's not Velma. None of these characters are themselves. Fred's a bad parody of himself. And
they did it on purpose. They said it's supposed to be white male fragility and stupidity.
Look, stop. They're making excuses for Velma at this point because they're like, oh yeah, hey, like you said, the checks aren't cashing anymore from Warner Brothers, so we're gonna have to.
It's just,
do some damage control here.
There's no nuance. It was just really stupid. It was like obvious, overt stupidity is what it was. They spend paragraph after paragraph going about Velma's sexuality because
they literally say it. Charlie, son of Love Boat Guy Grandy.
Told you. But the idea was never to retcon Scooby-Doo, to completely replace it. Grandy always wanted to be this one little weird ice planet in the Scooby-verse. Well, they said it was like an alternate universe, but still.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, too. I mean, this is why it's kind of like, I'm like, look, it's just mean-spirited. I can, honestly, when I first saw the teaser, I was like, okay, they're kind of poking fun at the race swapping and stuff, whatever. And I do realize this is not the main Scooby continuity, so you can get away with a little bit more. But, I might actually check it out. But then the people working on the show are saying stupid stuff, and I'm like, yeah. And then I saw the full trailer. I'm like, no, I'm definitely out.
Well, then they have here, like, this is what gets me here. For Grandy, the idea that the internet would get mad about Velma was always a possibility. As they went about creating the show, Grandy recalls the higher-ups at Warner Brothers Animation, the trusted custodians of many classic and fiercely beloved animation properties, telling him, no matter what you do, there's going to be a lot of people who hate this. So just do what you're going to do, and we'll tell you if you're going too far.
Well, they didn't, did they? So we went from, like, we can't even hint at Velma being gay in the live-action movie to just completely destroy the characters in every conceivable way. Piss off everybody.
Make them more shallow than you complained about the original season.
And that's cool. We're cool with that. We're all cool with it.
And then the internet in general, like, everybody's united on saying how dog shit the show is.
So yeah, this is obviously damage control. And look, I mean, we did a video last week. The views are supposedly great. Some people think that Warner Brothers is fudging the numbers, but the views are supposedly very, very good for this show.
I'm sure they are. Everybody's hate watching it, or they're watching it to see how bad it really is.
Pretty much just like reality TV, just like, Jersey Shore, just like they're watching because they want to see how bad it actually gets.
You can't turn away from the train wreck.
Pretty much. So we'll see. I don't think season 2 is going to do as well. I think people are going to be out after this, So we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.